Green.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage, and welcome to this evening's session of Buried Time. Mark, take it away.
What's up, gang? So first off, I got some real sad news. Our favorite band, Gemma and the Beards, has broken up. They're no longer playing together, which is why this happened to my face. Whatever opinions you have about whether or not I should have kept the beard, or whether my clean-shaven face looked weird, or whether the beard looked weird, I just want to blanket statement right now, say to everybody, eat my shorts. So,
damn, fucking got him.
Which pair?
So, yeah. So this is fake, by the way. This won't be here next week either.
Dude, you should get that for real.
But my whole thing, I'm a temporary tat person. I'm a clip-on earring person. I'm a, nail polish for a week and then take it off and not put it on anymore for a month person. Like, I'm buying these $2 temporary tats was like the best choice I ever made. Because now I get to feel like a badass for a night.
Mm-hmm.
and then it's gone. It leaves after a few days. It's great. So, we're in Chapter 4 of Buried Time, called Language Barriers, or something.
There you go. Yep, that's what it is.
That's what I called it.
That's what you told me. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, our party right now is Sans Evan, Sans Davuk. That is unfortunate. He will be missed, but we are going to press on. I think we'll have a fine session with the 4 people that are here. There is, because of the area that you're all about to enter, there is information that Davuk I would have given to him, and then he would tell everybody in character. So probably I'm just going to tell everybody that Davuk would say, and then give you the paragraph.
That's fair.
Whenever stuff like that happens. So, other than that, though, I think it should be relatively smooth sailing, and hopefully we got the whole squad back next week. So, first off,
True facts.
the players do the summaries here, and Joe is on summary, but whoever did summary last for Buried Time is on Mystery Beverage, the most important part of the night. So, John, go ahead and show all of us your Mystery Beverage.
Yes. Unblur for this.
Nice.
It's almost gone.
And you notice there's fizz. A clear fizz.
It has John in
And a
it.
flute.
Apparently.
Yes. He's the drink. And he's flipping us off. Yeah, so now remember, those playing at home, the vessel that holds the mystery beverage can be a ruse. It doesn't necessarily need to go with the genre of beverage. So this flute glass, just stay on your toes as you're thinking about it. But go ahead and marinate on the mystery beverage, and we'll get our guesses in and figure out what John's been drinking after the break. But for now, Joe, go ahead and tell us what happened in Chapter 3.
Yeah, sure. So, last we had left off, our intrepid group of adventurers, they had finally begun to make their way to the strip mine, this area where they had been told, or where they knew that if they were to follow the strip mine, they could arrive to where the Thrycreen are, or where they could arrive to where the Thrycreen are, and then hopefully be able to make some type of passage. The one thing they were told, though, is that in order to successfully integrate into that community, or to be able to be entered and not be treated with hostility, gems would need to be given as sort of a warming gift to show their good intentions. So when arriving at the strip mine, our party notices one thing in particular that sort of sets the tone for the investigation. We find a body that has been dead and decomposing for quite some time. It seems as though small eggs had been laid in it for these scorpion-like creatures. The party, taking this into account, decides that the mission at hand needs to be dealt with, so scorpion eggs be damned, we descended further into the strip mine. While in the strip mine, we were able to collect several gems. 2 gems were collected. One was collected by Callum from the White Crystal Clusters, and another by Elias from the White Crystal Clusters. And no other crystals were found, period. It's such a shame. No, Callum did find 2 other crystals in 2 bags, lucky as he is, but he decided to pocket those as opposed to tell anybody about them. Maybe he'll have plans for those in the future, so maybe he just likes them because they're shiny. But before we were able to make our way peacefully to the Thri-Kreen, of course, the foreshadowing of scorpion eggs needed to pay off some way in that session. So, what else happened aside from us being attacked by scorpion centaurs? Would it have a really hard name to pronounce?
Glenkali.
Glenkali, yes, the Glenkali, or scorpion centaurs, which is kind of really what they are. Really cool creatures, really fun to fight against, which originally started as like 5 showed up, and like we can take 5, you know, like we don't suck, we're pretty good. But then more keep showing up, and more and more and more and more, and it becomes incredibly clear to our party that we can no longer sit in one place and fight them off. We need to run. We need to run towards where these Thri-Kreen are and hope that we can beat out the Glenkali on our journey there. Now, one thing in particular does happen is, I don't remember who exactly, but somebody was able to speak to the Glenkali. Was that Elias?
That was Elias.
That was Elias.
Elias
Okay,
had
the
comprehend language up
languages.
passively, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. So Elias, having cast comprehend languages, was able to hear what the Glenkali were saying. And apparently the leader, or at least the commander in that moment, told the other Glenkali to let us pass and let us move on, which is strange, especially considering how aggressive they were at first. So I can only assume that this is not the last we'll see of the Glenkali. So with that, we continued, mounted atop 2 different T-Rexes, headed down the strip mine to hopefully find the Thri-Kreen and get to the bottom of the sickness that currently inhabits the beetles. And I believe that is everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So the Glenkali decided in that moment, having suffered enough casualty to let you go ahead and pass, but they did seem pretty intent on keeping you from talking to the Thri-Kreen. But you've made it. And it is evening, and you are right outside of a tunnel that may connect into the rest of the Great Burrow. So we'll go ahead and pick up at the night as all of you set up camp once again. Elias preparing the Lehman's tiny hut for some protection and peace of mind. According to Davuk last session, this tunnel definitely was created by a large beast. It appears that it was created by a brown burrowing beetle, as opposed to anything super hostile. I mean, brown burrowing beetles are aggressive, but you're definitely going to hear them coming. They're pretty slow. They're not just going to attack you for no reason, and they're also not the most cunning of creatures. That being said, they're still huge. They're one of the 5 great beetles, and it would be quite unlikely that any of you have seen one in person. But the brown beetles are known to work together with other creatures besides, other intelligent species of creatures besides humanoids for the most part. Whereas a lot of the others, the red beetles used for trade, get along with people very well. The black beetles obviously do. The brown ones are pretty much away from humanoid society most of the time, which is another indicator that you might be getting closer to the Thri-Kreen. But last session you all decided to go ahead and rest before descending into whatever might be down there, especially not knowing how much longer it might take in order to start running in to these people. So we'll just go ahead and pop over right away to the evening. Last time, we did watches and stuff. How do we want to split up this time? We doing watches? We doing any sort of roleplay stuff with one another, conversations? I will leave it open to all of you for just a moment here.
Really quick, before Elias would cast Tiny Hut, he is going to cast Alarm.
Okay.
Create an alarm. I forget what the radius is. I think 30. Yeah,
I
30-foot
think so,
radius. And then cast Tiny Hut, so because he can't come out of the hut once he's cast it. So alarms for. I mean, Elias didn't take any damage in the fight, so he's good to take first, second, third watch. You know,
Damn.
probably first. He'll take first watch because.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Anzi, on the other hand, she went down, and then she got up, was a T-Rex, and then obviously isn't anymore. So she's happy to take a last watch, but definitely wouldn't be on the first. I imagine once the hut's open, she kind of just like gets in and just splats herself down, you know.
Yeah, Barum will splat near you as well.
Hell yeah. So I'm happy to do like a
like,
last watch.
Cool. Yeah, Barum is definitely a little. He was a little on the nervous side as you were all kind of making it through the tunnel, seeing the trouble that Anzi was in, but he seems to have mostly calmed down, and he also splats as soon as conditions are safe.
Yeah, I would say that Callum is a little boogered up, you know, he's a little messed up. So I'll have him take first watch with Elias, just that way there's somebody on first watch with him. But then definitely towards the end of first watch would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go now. like definitely ready to go to bed by that point, but wouldn't abandon him by any means to do it all by himself.
Okay.
Yes, and yeah, so Hyro would take the last or the second watch, whichever.
Sweet. And Davuk will take one of them and be oddly quiet.
Do we just want to? I mean, could we just do 2 watches then, and have Davuk be on one of them, so that everyone has someone to talk to?
Yeah, we could just do like Davuk, Elias, Callum, and then Harawanzi, Barum as the as the second squad.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty.
Roll.
So, yeah, first watch as you guys are tucking in, just let's go ahead and get some perception checks in the chat.
Oof.
Perception. Man, I'm so bad. Okay, there we go.
They gotta have that alarm spell. Oof.
Double nines.
Hey.
All right. Mostly a sightline issue, boys. You're not able to see too much from the nook that you all decided on would be best to take shelter in tonight. You're still kind of in the trench, and the walls of this strip mine are keeping you from being too perceptive of anything. If you just glance up at the sky, you obviously see the entire blanket of stars up above you. Occasionally there'll be a bird or something that flies by, but for the most part, no. The hunting part of the day is over. So, not much of note.
I'll say, Elias at the beginning of the watch is kind of like dusting himself off and like taking his gloves off and like pouring the sand out. His boots doing the same thing. He actually at one point like kind of lifts the mask up and starts like getting the sand out, and then starts writing in his book. And then says, looks over to Callum and says,
"Did pretty well out there."
Oh, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that a lot. You too. You're really good at the whole magic thing.
Thank you. I would admit I have not used this most at all for combat. I've always just shot at random things or just practice, but never really had combat experience. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if it'll make you feel any better, but I personally have never like that. Never.
No.
I've been in a scrap here and there, but yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, you're definitely not alone in that aspect. But you held yourself. I mean, I think we all did.
I think we did pretty well.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've been out of the city?
No. I'm actually not from the city. Remember I was
Oh, that's right.
I owned a very powerful drug cartel in the Gemstone Archipelago.
That's I now I remember.
Yeah.
The very powerful shit. Yes.
Yes, and then of course, you know, I am much older than what I appear to be. I'm actually thousands of years old. My phylactery is in Schlarmadum in
Really?
yeah, in the Besna. Yep. It's a really far away place you probably wouldn't know.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Well, yeah, it's because
It's good that I know where your phylactery is, though.
Yeah, but you said you
I
never
can
heard of it.
Destroy it.
No, you shouldn't.
Well, I
no.
could find it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but good luck finding it.
You're a funny person, Callum.
He kind of narrows his eyes, like. Makes you
In a
think I'm
good
being-
way. Sorry.
What makes you think I'm being funny right now? I'm dead serious. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate it. I learned very early on that it's important to not take things so seriously. So I try and never take
Probably.
anything seriously.
It's probably something I could learn. I take most everything seriously.
Yeah,
To
it starts to
an
weigh on you
annoying
after a
extent.
while. Yeah. You know, I can kind of tell. I feel like you should definitely be a couple inches taller, but it seems like because of the weight of everything that you carry on your shoulders, it's compressed you a bit.
I can't tell if that was a jab. If that was a compliment.
Hey, you know, I mean, I'm not that tall either, so, you know.
It doesn't matter. I can make myself lie. I don't need to be taller.
All right, I mean, if you say so. I mean, it sounds like you're compensating, but, you know, I mean.
Aren't we all?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Every single day of my life, every minute of every hour, I am compensating. Oh, my God, yeah.
Is that why, Never mind.
Why what?
I was going to say, is that why you use the magic?
You see him kind of like blink and shake his head. I'm sorry, what?
The magic. Is that why you use... I know you're very good with the sneaky and thievery thing, but you also use magic.
No.
He's gonna insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
I know it's kind of meta.
No,
but
I know.
basically, he wants to know if Callum actually knows he's using magic or not.
Yeah.
If he's lying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I would say
Go ahead
even
and get a
without
roll.
an insight check, I mean, you're pretty confident that he's
Oh,
being
fuck.
genuine.
Well, now he's not. He rolled a 1.
Hmm. Well, what's your...
Introduced random chance.
Yeah. Damn it, you should have just relied on your passive insight,
yeah, it's
Jonathan.
15. It's
Damn.
15 for passive. Damn.
That's all right.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Elias, you just the with a natural 1, we'll say that your instincts know that he's being serious right now. But your logic tells you, no, there's no way. I mean, come on.
Callum, we're going to be traveling for a while. You don't have to lie to me.
No, I'm not.
I know that you're using magic.
Listen, I'm not lying. Listen, I've lied about a lot of things in my life. That's incredibly true, and I think it's incredibly apparent by now. But listen, if I could fly and shoot magic firebolts out of my hands and, trick people into seeing things that aren't actually there, do you realize how much easier my life would have been?
Well, that is not all that magic is. Magic is not. The magic that you're using, you don't realize?
No, and I'm telling you, I don't use magic. So I've got 2 daggers, and I've got Musa right here, and I just get lucky from time to time. That's all. Like I said, I wish it was magic.
Question: the first time Elias saw him use magic, I forget the context of what it was. Like Elias legit saw arcane magic coming from Callum.
Yeah,
It was during the invaders or whatever they were called, the people who like rushed the beetle.
Yeah, the hide catchers. He specifically, I forget the details as well, but Callum cast something, and
Because it wasn't just luck, right? Like it wasn't Elias seeing that he was using luck. It was something else.
Yeah, it was. Trying to think about what spell it was, because I thought it was a spell.
It was definitely a spell.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, why can't I think of it now? Find familiar, hideous laughter, jump, dragon's myth. It was suggestion. That's what it was. It was suggestion.
Okay, that's right. So,
Right, because then you thought you were just really laying on the charm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Elias will go.
That is very interesting. Well, as someone who has studied the arcane and magic for many, many years, I'm here to tell you that you possess magical abilities, Callum.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
Do you
I'm
remember-
flattered. I'm flattered. I am, but
Do you remember when we leapt off the beetle and stopped those individuals from stealing the supplies?
yeah, it was like 2 or 3 days ago. Of course, I remember.
Do you remember saying very witty words to some of them and them all of a sudden listening to what you were saying and doing what you told them to do?
Yeah, because I'm charming. Why wouldn't they want to listen to me?
Well, you are. But
Oh,
when you did
thanks.
that, I saw magic leave your body. It affected their mind. You cast a spell. And I know this might be very hard to think about and hear, but you have magic. I've also seen you. It is a weird kind of magic. It is on a different spectrum than clockwork and time. But there's probability magic. I've seen you manipulate that as well.
Okay. All right. You're throwing a lot of big concepts at me. So how about a simple hypothesis, right? You think I can do magic.
Yes.
I say I can't. So you said that you saw me do magic when I asked those people to do something for me, and they did it because it was unsound. But they still did it anyway because of magic. So let's try this. Give me all of the money you have on you now.
Do you cast suggestion or are you just saying that?
No.
This is going to be a lot harder than I thought.
Okay, listen, I really appreciate it, but I want to stop talking about this. So please, let's just stop. And he'll cast suggestion there.
Okay. What is the save?
That save is Wisdom 15.
All right, let's get
Can I
that roll.
choose to fail?
You can.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll because my wisdom's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even if you succeed, Elias would be able to tell that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
This is a long shot, Mark.
mm-hmm.
Very long shot.
Mm.
Is there a way that when you cast suggestion, Elias, this is not really how the spell works at all. Elias can either cast dancing lights or use his time magic to kind of, because the magic of suggestion, it's like magic is invisible,
Mm-hmm.
basically. Is there a way for him to like highlight the ley lines of arcane leaving him, so that it's kind of like throwing, like when you have laser lights going off, but there's no smoke the laser lights
Mhm.
travel through. You can't really see the lights, but once there's smoke, you can see the lights perfectly. I want
Right.
to do something that's like Elias knows he's casting a spell and he's going to emanate the arcane ley line.
You want to make visible the infrared rays
Yes.
of the spell suggestion.
If
How about we just call it an Arcana check?
okay.
Why not? To do some mad scientist shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20. Well, I'd say with that level of filth, you could do it. You can kind of like find in Callum's gestures and sort of the change in the air, where precisely and when precisely the spell was cast, and find a way to sort of point it out to him.
Okay. So I'm thinking flavor wise, like he cast suggestion because I succeeded. Am I still in Elias voice? Okay, good. I thought I was. That I use my it's momentary stasis feature, where I kind of like capture the magic midair, and then like use dancing lights to like create light around it, and then throw sand up, so that it like pours down over the magic ley line that I like froze in time.
Yeah. So you're photographing the spell.
Yeah.
And being like, look.
So
That's
yeah,
fun.
he would.
I like that.
So the suggestion would pop, and he would look at it, and then immediately put his hands up and capture it. Do what I said, dancing lights to cast light, and then throw sand up, and then I guess you would see that magic ley line going straight toward your chest or from your mouth.
Yeah. It's like weave fibers.
Yeah.
You can just kind of see.
And Elias would go.
See? You just cast magic. These are magical ley lines. When everything magical in the world is connected to them. You just look down, you can see it's traveling from you.
Oh, gods. I can do magic.
You can do magic.
I'm a wizard. All right.
Well, not necessarily. It seems that you have an innate magic that you just didn't know you had. That is very interesting.
I mean, cool though, right? I mean, it's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Okay. Let me see. And he's gonna kind of look at the wall, and he's gonna like fire Firebolt. Flame blast.
Go, let go.
That is not how magic works.
He's gonna like flick his wrist right after Elias says that, and Ray of Frost is gonna shoot out of his palm at the ground
Whoa.
and like hit his knee. Oh, that's cold. Did you see that? I shot ice out of my fingertips. Oh my god.
Elias looks and kind of runs his hand across where the frost is. Takes his book out and starts writing like hypothesis and like how this is working.
That is very interesting. You're able to cast magic without runes or words or... You have something special, Callum.
Yeah, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. And hey, obviously you must be something special because, well, I don't know how long I would have gone just thinking that. I don't know.
I'm glad I could have helped you realize. Look, I've been... Yes?
I just had a thought. There was something. Okay, so. All right, and this can really only stay between you and me, okay? There have been times where I have been put into a building that has a lot of metal bars to keep people locked inside.
Jail.
I shouldn't have been there, and because I didn't do anything wrong. I knew that, the guards knew that, but protocol's protocol, so they had to do it. The thing is sometimes I would be sitting there in my cell, and just as a guard was walking by, their keys would just kind of fall off and they wouldn't notice. Just fall off the thing. And I was always looking at the keys, and I wanted the keys to fall off, and then they would. Does Elias have anything like on him? Like he's got his book in his hand, right? Right.
Elias has like bits and bobs
Okay.
hanging, like, yeah, he's got all kinds of manners of tools all over the place.
I think that he's gonna look at like like the quill Elias has in his hand as he's like writing down, and I think that he's gonna look at the quill, and he's gonna kind of like gesture with his hand, and he's gonna use Mage Hand, and it's gonna kind of like pick up the quill out of his hand, and he's gonna be like, do you see that?
I do. I am very familiar with this spell.
Do you realize how many possibilities that opens up? The fact that I can do this whenever I want?
Well, I hope you mean for good. Magic is something that should not be used for malintention.
I'm sorry. Were you saying something? I was thinking about all the things that I could do.
Magic should be used when it needs to be used. Only for good. Not for something that is selfish. It could harm others.
Yeah, no, I of course I understand completely.
Callum, you remember that individual that chased us out of the beetle, correct?
Yeah, I remember.
That is what happens when you use your magic for bad. Everyone in this world wishes they could possibly have some sort of magic, and only few of us are blessed with it. But learn it, have the ability to learn it. Some are born with it, but it is still a very small percentage. It is great that you can use magic, and yes, you can use it to do whatever you would like. But just know, magic has consequences. And
when Elias says that, he will remove the mask, and you see like half of his face is completely burnt away. Half of the jaw is like open and missing from the cheek. Yeah, it's looks horrible. And he puts the mask back on.
Callum very rudely will immediately go, oh, and then go, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It was just I'm so sorry. That was really mean. I'm really sorry.
It's fine.
And Magic did that.
Yes.
So
It is.
I mean,
Magic did this to somebody who did not use it properly.
So then why do you use it at all if it can be that dangerous?
Because the options to do good with it outweigh the bad.
Okay.
And this was an accident caused by my stupidity, and I have learned from it.
Elias, right at that moment, your alarm goes off, and you see a lone hyena just kind of like look around, panicked, and just dart elsewhere into the desert.
I will say, so the alarm spell, oh, it does produce a sound. Okay, so it's a mental
I
version
remember
and
it's.
yeah.
I remember talking about this in session 2. You have a
Yeah.
ding-a-ling in your head, and then there's a ding-a-ling that's a smaller radius that's actually audible. But yeah.
Elias looks at Callum and goes,
That is one of the good uses. This is one of the good uses. Just know. Think on what you plan to do before you use your magic to do it. If you want help honing it and learning more about it, I can help.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna think on it for a bit. I might have more questions later, but I appreciate it.
Now you should probably wake up the others, because I am getting tired and you look like you're tired.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be really honest. I'm fucking beat.
You took a beating out there.
Oh yeah, I guess literally and metaphorically, because I am just tired too.
Elias is going to cast Mage Hand, and it's going to go over and just tap Anzi on the shoulder.
Oh man,
Very
he's
lightly.
gonna see him do that, and Calum's gonna go, I can do that too. Mage Hand. And he's gonna who else was on? Was it because it was Anzi and Harrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So everybody could talk to somebody if they wanted to. Okay.
Right, yeah. No, Devuk's on all of them and none of them.
Okay. So then he'll tap
succeeds.
he'll tap Harrow then.
Hanging out with his fireflies.
Fireflies, what do you think?
It's just, we'll have a whole solo session where it's just like a bottle episode. It's just Devuk and all of the fireflies.
There was a hyena that triggered the alarm, but that was all. I'm tired. Good luck, you two.
All right. Think we can handle a hyena if we need to.
Yes, it's the Dino crew. I think we can handle quite a few things.
Ugh.
I am hungry for something. I still have the taste of our friends back there in my mouth.
Are you telling me that you actually swallowed parts of them? I would have
Parts.
you didn't.
Yes. Unfortunately, the circumstances of being in that state caused me to partake in the finer limbs of our friends.
I see. Well, was thinking about asking about also joining you in your T-Rex form alongside you in future, but now I'm not too sure. I don't think I quite like the idea of eating other beings like that.
It's a sacrifice that is made where people like me, these druids that can turn into creatures, there's long-going standings of fears of being in the form so much that you just become an animal yourself.
Have you
But-
ever felt that then? Beyond just the occasional taste?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I like finer teas, and he'll just pull out a kettle and just begin heating it over the fire. I've refined taste from my merchant days.
And while you're preparing tea for the two of you, let's get some perception checks real
Oh,
quick.
yeah. The reason why we're doing this in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
One day
Yeah.
I'll roll a good perception check. One day. I feel like they're always miserable.
All right, I will keep that in mind. Anzi,
Also,
you're
my
very
passive
aware.
is 18.
Okay, but yeah, you're like really aware of your immediate surroundings right now. You're like hyper aware of the tea and like Elias's bedroll and a few other things, but like anything beyond the hut, you're like, eh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just my rolling, but I feel like whenever I roll perception for Anzi, it's always shitty.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to think she might be a bit blind, but that's okay.
You in games I have run, you have historically rolled bad wisdom, which I just find really funny.
I'm not
I specifically remember a Silent Shield session where there was like a dude in a tunnel in the middle of the dark where there was clearly a monster hiding out, and he was like, I have food. Are you hungry? And Eova rolled a 1 and was like, yeah! Yeah!
It's fine.
I'll just snack.
It's fine. We don't need to worry about that. It's tea time now, so
But yeah, I'll keep those numbers in mind as a few minutes in the watch begin to pass. But for now, Harrow, go ahead and make your tea.
Yeah, so he'll just pull out herbs and begin stuffing them into the top of this tea kettle, creating water and filling it up, and then just sit there over the fire. Just sit back, like, stretching out, making sure that he still has all of his toes.
I feel like it's going to be a good thing to have some calmness on this little adventure that I suppose we're going on.
Yes. How are you? It took quite a beating back there.
A little sore, but it's good that I have good backup at least. But I feel like seeing especially the other two, Vuk, I feel like would take a beating himself, but the other two I don't think so, and so I much prefer that it be me and not them.
My thoughts exactly. I think one has sustained enough injuries, and the other has luckily avoided more in his lifetime than anyone else that I know. So,
I think that's certainly true. He at least is a lot more confusing than the others.
it is an odd pairing,
Indeed.
but we made it work.
And feel everyone should be here for some reason. Especially after talking with Alifaz and everything. And so, well, whatever his thing is, I'm sure we'll be thankful to have it when the time comes.
Some things are meant to just be temporary. Sand echoing through the palms of our hands. Nothing more. The time we all have together will change who we are. I hope that we can all make it through it.
I hope so. I feel like we've been doing well enough already. And with someone as wise as you seem to be, I think we should continue to be fine.
I am much like Callum. I am lucky with circumstances. I've been blessed with the ability to turn into things and turn other people into creatures that can help defend the weak, the meek, the mild, and those that cannot defend themselves. And what we are doing, hopefully, will continue that lineage and saving this beetle and who knows what else. I just hope that we don't create a trail of blood in the path of this righteous adventure.
Well, I feel none of us are intending to get into any fights. What happened back there was just a matter of circumstance. But there are all the lives beyond just Alifaz himself to consider. Everyone upon that beetle.
Yes. The unfortunate scale. Saving one to save millions and sacrificing and so on. But yes.
And Harrow, you had a higher perception roll. So, as you're mulling on that thought, right as the tea is finally steeped and ready, and you both get ready to enjoy the first sip, you spot something. And it seems to go together with a story you remember from last night. You look out into the distance, and you see a small, four-eared silhouette. And you see it. Anzi's clueless at the moment. You spot this creature yourself. This time, they have not set off the alarm. They're quite a distance back, but you can make them out by the gleam in their eye in the night.
At the last watch, you said that you went on a bit of an adventure with Callum, correct?
A little bit of one, yes. There was a sand cat that approached the dome.
With 4 ears.
Did I have 4 ears? I feel like I cannot remember.
Yes, the image does,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I think all I verbally said is a sand cat, but a little unusual. But
Yeah, I remember there was something
yeah.
fucky about it, but I couldn't remember if it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a second set.
Yes, I didn't realize you would have seen it. You were asleep at the time.
I
I thought.
am seeing it currently. I think we're being followed.
I mean, I guess with that awareness, is Anzi able to see where it is as well at this point?
Yeah, if you choose to start scanning the dark horizon, you will eventually see it.
Scanned at, like, sandcat level.
And yeah,
Yeah.
low. But you do see eventually, kind of just a ways down, down in the ridge with you. That's definitely Sandcat. And they're still kind of far away, but it looks like this time they're sort of doing what they did last night, just watching. But it seems like this time they are a distance away, so as not to trigger the alarm. Perhaps they've learned.
Possibly. Harrow will grab some of the food that's just around the fire, cast Speak with Animals, and then without directly looking at Sandcat, You can come in if you wish. We mean you no harm, and we have food.
I can hear you again. Are we talking to the cat over there? You see Barum kind of cock his head up.
Yes. Barum, you are very observant. You were able to clock the cat.
Yes, and it didn't appear to be a threat of any kind. I just... And he's kind of peeking over as well now. But
Look.
the cat does not respond verbally at all. It just takes a few more steps closer, and it seems to wait right as it gets within the range that the alarm was set to last time.
I will meet it right, or Harrow would walk over and just meet it right on the line.
Okay. So.
And just crouch down as much as a halfling needs to crouch down to be at eye level with this cat.
So. Same cat. And yeah, as you get closer, and Anzi you can kind of see now from this distance, definitely the same creature as last night, very distinct. And you set the food down, and it just, it just takes another bite, just like it did last time, just sits there calmly chewing. But yet again, there is something in a very tiny parcel tied to its tail.
I will put up my hands and try to get to a good position to pick up the cat and bring it close to the fire.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll an animal handling check, and Harrow, you're going to roll it with advantage because Sandcat has already bonded with Anzi.
Cool.
Friends.
That's 1, and that's terrible. I'm having a great day.
All right, 13.
13.
So, you manage to scoop up Sandcat just enough, and you kind of get walking. But once you get a few feet back towards the fire, Sandcat leaps out of your hands and just walks towards the campfire himself. But
independent.
he's in, and the alarm has not been set off.
Good. Did not want to awake Elias. Or did I? He's looking at stones that he can throw at the barrier, but then he thinks better of it.
Wake him up.
Did the cat walk over the alarm?
Harrow picked it up over the alarm. Would that technically...
I mean, sure, it's like a creature entering, right?
When you cast a spell, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm.
So it would have set off the alarm.
Yeah, it would have
Did Elias?
Wakey, wakey!
Well, we tried. Both Harrow and Mark
Yes.
tried. But yeah,
Elias
it
sits
goes
up.
off.
Yeah, Elias sits up, and you see his hands go up, and like magic missile just appears.
What is happening?
Return
It's
of
a
a
cat.
friend. Don't worry
Cat.
about it.
Just,
Yes, it's just the cat from the other day. Yesterday, that is. He can't hear me, can he? And
no, I'm sorry, Barum.
Why is Baron okay? He's going off. He's being
Um,
very vocal right now.
he's trying to tell you a story to get you back to sleep. Barum, just go over and cuddle up with him.
that's what you're hearing.
Just shouting.
Sorry, it startled me. I'm going to go back to sleep. Does that cat have 4 ears? Never mind.
It's just like...
Stand up for the rest of the watch.
Up
You
and out.
coward.
I did my watch. Just, whatever.
Elias is a human. He needs to sleep.
Yep. So, yeah, Sandcat still hasn't said anything. Just chilling by the fire now, eating.
It's strange that you've visited us both nights, little little cat. And she'll once again kind of like do the whole like giving it a pet motion, but then she'll also move to take the thing off its tail.
Okay. So you do. You open it up again this time. And this time, it's not as easy to discern. It's some sort of amulet, it looks like. A very small gem on a very thin chain. But yeah, it appears to be some sort of piece of old, kind of rusted out jewelry.
I should kind of like look to Harrow, see if there's any recognition there.
Is there a note or anything with this?
Nope. Yeah, just like last time, it's just the item.
Just the item
pouch
on it. Does this amulet look familiar by any means? Like any type of tribe that might be associated with it?
Let's go ahead and do history for that.
I am not a wizard. It's a 4. It's a solid 4 right there.
Well, it probably is from a group of people that lived somewhere in Cartasia a long time ago.
Cool.
It's
Helpful.
old.
Yeah, it's old.
Also, can I look at the cat and discern whether or not this cat is a druid? Like it's not an actual cat, but like someone in wild shape?
Let's go ahead and do insight for that. I don't, or nature, whatever you want to do.
I will do, yeah, wisdom's much better. I will insight this cat. Why am I rolling so poorly? That's a 12.
You get this strange feeling as you're looking at this creature that there is something more unusual about it than just its 4-ear genetic fluke. There does seem to be something about its calmness, its quiet intelligence, that hints at it being something more. But with a 12, you can't put your finger on it. You just get this vague sense that Sandcat ain't quite a cat.
Harrow's gonna pull out a piece of candy. And he's gonna unwrap it and put it in the palm of his hands. And he's just gonna take a wild guess and go, as far as I could remember, you really liked these. You were having a stressful day one day, and I decided to buy you a bunch of these. And he'll put out his palm.
You've seen the cat before then?
I'm making a wild guess that this is an old friend.
And Sandcat looks at the candy, and takes it, chews on it a bit, and eventually
Sandcat.
takes a step. Sandcat eventually takes a step, kind of does a circle around the campfire and sits somewhere else, laying down, hands in front, in that sort of regal pose. And Sandcat just, once again, still no words or anything, but Sandcat locks eyes with Barum. And Barum just, no, what's that little thing you just handed the cat? That looked like it might be pretty interesting. That's...
Barum, I don't know, because it does not seem much more of a cat than... it seems much more than that.
Well, it doesn't quite smell like the main druid lady, if that's who you're thinking it is. I've met her a few times, and maybe she applied some sort of musk or something, but it definitely doesn't smell like her the few times we have met.
Thank you for capturing our musk. It is extremely helpful in this situation. What does it smell like?
Well, And Barham's just gonna really sit there and Gemma, what's his perception bonus?
+3.
Okay, do you want me to roll or for you?
Does, because I'm using Stats of the Mastiff, has keen hearing and smell, so he'd have advantage. Since I'm guessing this is through the smell.
This will be a smell perception, yeah.
Smell check, yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you go ahead and roll that +3 with advantage.
I don't know how to do the advantage on here, so I'm just gonna roll it twice. Okay. Did I roll twice anyway? No. Oh fuck. Okay. I clicked that twice.
You rolled 2d20. That's a little different.
Okay.
Might be able to...
What was a 10? So that'd be with advantage. I don't know how I'm thinking. So it'd be a 21 then.
Exactly. Yeah, because I could get in here and I saw you got a 10 and an 18. So yeah. Okay. So 21. So Barham kind of. Well, I'm definitely getting a lot of dust. Definitely an old, abandoned, sort of dusty scent. The cat seems to spend a lot of time in weird buildings, maybe. A little bit musky. Sort of. Desert botanicals. Oasis plants and such, a little bit. Small touches of... what is that? What is that? Sandalwood, maybe. Some sort of very fine perfume.
Harrow will begin writing on a piece of parchment and roll it up and tie it, or attempt to tie it to the cat's tail, so that when it leaves and goes back to wherever it's going, there will be a message for whoever is bestowing these gifts upon us.
Okay. What shall it say?
We are humbly thankful for your gracious gifts. And would like to open a dialogue. At our next camp, if you would be so kind to make yourself visible to us, I think we can work something out.
Okay. And no animal handling needed. You actually can attach that pretty easily using the cord that was with the original package. Sandcat does not resist at all. He just sits there, continues to do that sort of bite thing that cats do on the little bits of candy, just long. But yeah, he's just chilling. Barham the whole time has just been looking kind of cockeyed at the cat. Just I can't help but wonder why I'm being stared at so closely.
Barham, where do you come from?
Well, that's a little bit complicated, actually. As perhaps Anzi can tell that story. It's sort of a. I mean, I was summoned. I was also born. I'm just kind of sit and ponder for a moment. Well, I remember a lot of open plains and dunes, lots of running. So much running. I mostly ran for about 12 years, and then I was summoned. This is a sacred duty to me. I don't mind at all. When I get the chance to run again, of course, it's quite nice, but... Well... I have a lady, and she has her steed now. It is an obligation I willingly keep.
When this is all over, I would love to write the stories of Barum, if you would not mind.
Well, half of that is going to be the stories of this group. This is definitely the most interesting thing that's happened lately. I do have to ask what we're doing. What are we doing? We left the city. I never really was caught up on that.
We are on a bit of an adventure, a call to action, much like you being summoned, we were as well. And soon... Oh, I do wish I could include Anzi into this conversation, but it probably just sounds like a bunch of gargled sounds and scratchy vocalizations.
You can.
And Harrow is just gonna look over to see like what Anzi's expression is while he's just talking to Baron.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Anzi. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I mean, I imagine that it's kind of a look at like a mixture between like bewilderment and amusement, you know. I imagine with her time obviously with Barum, she has like talked to him. But you know, and has gotten like at least Barum noises back. But hearing another person talk to him that's also speaking in Barum, I think that is just it's strange, it's weird. She's enjoying it though. It's interesting, and she's glad Barum has another friend, you know? I think that's the general vibe. But she's just looking back as if she could hear the conversation, but like nothing's going through, you know? Like a passive hearer, you know? Just like looking at it, like looking to each of you as you like take your turn speaking. Just, you know, as if she understands, but clearly very much doesn't.
Right. Also, one final thing. Can I just observe the way that the cat's looking at Barum?
Yeah.
Kind of get context clues of like what the vibe is.
Let's do insight again.
Oh, I've not rolled over a 10. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to wrap your head around, Hero. This is an interesting case. This is maybe an incredibly well-trained cat, which who's heard of that? Or this is just something else entirely. Could be a druid, could be some sort of magic. Yeah, I mean, you don't really know. But it does seem to be almost waiting sort of patiently with this just sort of mysterious expression. But eventually, after it's had its fill of rations and Never's favorite candy, Sandcat gets up and will just calmly start walking away in the direction that they came from.
Don't suppose you got a word from the cat that whole time?
No, unfortunately, but I do have an object on its tail that I can later track.
No. See, I did tell you all rise. It's good to have you.
I just think it might be interesting to learn more. Barum said that the cat smelt like sandalwood and perfume and like an old dustiness. I imagine that we're dealing with some kind of wizard, some kind of individual living in the ruins out in this area. Possibly this cat is their familiar. It understood a great deal and was able to move around and complete tasks, but didn't speak. There's a possibility that the individual could have used their familiar as their own eyes, something that I've heard of through books, like has somebody who can turn into animals. Having that unique perspective can help. I don't think it's a coincidence that this animal has been around us twice now. So I sent a message out to the owner, and possibly we can have a conversation. But worst case scenario, I can track the letter, as it were. But I don't
Still
think that this
useful.
person... Oh, what? Sorry. I was...
Still certainly useful, but I will also say it's at least hopefully a good thing that there's someone else in this desert that's looking out for us as well. And I think it'd be interesting to see then if you're able to locate the person, if they're following us or if it's rather that they're somewhere close by. Perhaps if they are, it'd be more useful than not. How many people are out here anyways, so anyone that is more familiar with the area would be more helpful. Especially when we need to deal with others, less humanoid.
Yes, and I'm sure that this trinket that was given to us is magical, which I'm sure we will be able to see what exactly it does, but between that and the potion that was received, I don't think this person means us any harm. They may have some stake in our quest, as it were.
I will say about that amulet, we could wait till later and allow Elias to look at it, but I feel there's normally a way or two of finding out what items do without all the spell casting around it. Could always find it earlier.
True. Or I could throw a rock at the barrier again and wake him up and have him check. Or we can wait till morning.
I'm curious to see what it does now, in all honesty.
Very well. Picks up a rock and yeets it towards the barrier.
I thought you were gonna say you yeet it toward a locket. I was like, holy shit!
No.
It's not that true.
Just
The
gonna
alarm
set
doesn't
up
wake
the
him. We know
alarm.
what to do with the second rock.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Does a rock?
Does it have to be a
No,
creature?
it's tiny. It has to be a creature, so the rock doesn't do anything.
Damn, I love the Arrow just like spending the
don't.
whole night not knowing the rules of
I
this
don't
arcane magic.
understand magic whatsoever. I thought picking it up would help, and throwing a rock, no alarm. So wait, does that mean somebody could fire arrows into this area?
Well, they wouldn't get past the tiny hut, but
This is Harrow just speaking out loud.
I know this is.
Would be
Odd.
concerning.
Magic. I don't understand it. Very
I mean,
well.
Shape changing is magic in itself, is it not?
True. Oh, I know what I can do. Still would speak with animals out. Barum, could you give Elias a wake-up call for me?
I assume you mean a barbaric yell.
A yelp, a lick, a slam down with your tail next to him. However you deem would be the best.
Well, I'm actually quite comfortable sitting right here, so. And Elias and Callum, you both. I mean, it was a lot.
Elias does the exact same thing. He shoots up, magic missile.
Callum, how you waking up?
Yeah, I just tossed the bracelet or amulet that was given to us immediately over to Elias.
I just assume that because he casts magic missile, he's like, ah! And then all the missiles just shoot into the top of the the dome as he catches it.
Perfect.
And Callum,
What
you're
is
up
this?
too, by the way.
Yeah. Callum, I think, would do like.
I just want to, for the record, Elias, when he sleeps, sounds like Darth Vader the entire time.
Okay, good to know. We need to ask Evan next week if Devuk snores. I feel like
He
he does.
does. I feel like he absolutely does.
He catches it.
What is
Another
this?
blessing from the cat. You able to see what it does?
It's just it's a pendant. What is it?
It's an
Yeah,
amulet.
it just
An
looks like a
amulet,
little amulet on a thin chain, and it's very old. The metal of the amulet's like very tarnished.
If you give me precisely 11 minutes, I could figure out what it does.
Perfect.
Now?
Preferably.
Yes, while you're up, you might as well. 11 more minutes without sleep won't bother you.
Goddamn needy. Sounds like.
Alright, well, I guess I can do that. I'm helpful. I can be helpful.
And he puts the pendant on on the ground, on the sand. He opens his book to a page, closes the book, places it down, and then you see he takes out a broken piece of a stick that he grabbed, and okay, I did not notice that one. Would I assume to have had all of the components for this spell?
Is it identify?
Yeah.
What is the gold value thing?
A pearl worth 100 gold. But it's a reusable pearl.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think if that's a spell you have and
Okay.
it doesn't get consumed, that you could have just grabbed that from your study before you left here on the quest in session
I
one.
mean, I feel like also when we were in the markets, didn't
Yeah.
Elias get like spell components? So like, I'm sure he would
Mhm.
have stocked
Yeah.
up on anything.
Yeah, I
So-
think we did sort of hand wave that in session one. You're like, I'm gonna buy all the spell components I'll need for the campaign.
Yep. So since this is the first time I'm casting Identify, and you woke Elias up, you're getting the elongated version of casting the spell. So he takes out the stick and starts drawing the arcane runes. He takes the pearl out of his bag and places it down on the top part and draws a line to it. And then he starts going through his bag.
Hero, could you do me a favor and turn into an owl?
Harrow's walking over with a cup of tea to give to Elias. Oh, yeah. Why?
For the spell, I need an owl's feather.
The least I can do. And he will just scrunch up, and then suddenly just like feathers will come out of him, and he'll just turn into an owl, and then he will pluck one of the feathers and waddle over to you, and then just drop it.
If preferably, could I take a couple more just in case I need to use the spell again?
1, 2, 3, 4. He's just got a bald patch on his side that he's just
You
beginning
feather
to
him.
rip out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And he'll jump
I'm-
up to see if he can still fly. It happens. He's just
So
got a bald butt.
Hero, whenever you turn back into your halfling form, you're gonna have missing arm hair for the next hour or so. It'll grow back.
I
Did it in an
will
hour.
take
That's
that.
fast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, normally damage doesn't carry over, but
It's
it's
a
just for
halfling
fun.
charm. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he takes the owl feather and draws a little arcane symbol with the tip of it, and then places it in the center. And then for the next 10 minutes, we'll identify this object.
All right.
Um,
Drop the text if you may.
Yep. There you
Boop. Choose an object. It's a magic item or some other magic-imbued object. You learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn that. If you instead touch a creature, which you didn't. Okay, so the 10 minutes elapse. Your tea is good during those 10 minutes. But once it is complete, you can identify. This is a amulet that is indeed a magic item. You can see that though its physical properties are a little messed up, it should still work. You're fairly confident that the magic contained within it will still be effective. It's definitely still present. But what it appears to be is quite simply an amulet that you put onto some non-humanoid. And it allows for communication. The issue is, though, once you have put it on to a non-humanoid creature, if you take it off of that non-humanoid creature, the magic is going to be drained, and it needs to be recharged. So you can't, like, immediately, you know, when you guys get to the Thry Cream, you can't just, like, what about you? What about you? But recharging it takes 24 hours. But other than that, yeah, you just put it on a non-humanoid, and it, in some way, will allow for communication.
Elias relays all of that information.
This could be useful, well, to talk to Baron the entire time. Or maybe the insect people we are going to go talk to soon.
As much as I love Barum, I feel it'd be best to make sure that we're able to not run into any language barriers. When we're
The
sorry.
issue that I see with this magical item is that we have to put it onto something. I don't know if they are going to allow us to just place an item on them.
I feel like if we're able to be open with our intent, at least at the beginning there, it should be well enough.
Good. Is this the only item I needed to identify? Did you need anything else, or?
Harrow in owl form will just shake his head all the way around.
I mean, if you're able to just identify things, maybe there's gems.
This gem?
And he pulls out the agate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there is, but may as well just see if there's anything to them.
Identify still going.
Yeah.
Alright. You put the 2 pieces of crudely cut agate into your identify ritual. They're just crudely cut agate. There is no spell that they came from, no magic imbued into them, no attunement of any kind. They're simply agate.
These are just normal agate, Chris.
Thought it'd be worth a checking.
It is. It's a good idea. Well, if there's nothing else. I mean, I feel like, how long have you guys been on watch? Now,
You
how
can get at
many
least
hours?
a couple good hours in if you want to go back to sleep.
I am very tired. But if you need anything else, I'm more than happy to help.
No, get your sleep.
Alright. Are you sure?
Do you
This is the
want us
second time you.
to-
Well, this is the second time you've woken me up.
I mean, if you're really wanting something else to do, I'm sure we could arrange it, but as far as I'm concerned, we're good for the rest of the night.
Good night.
Well, did we ever figure out what this little piece of metal on a string does?
Is that referring to the amulet or what? Is there another metal string thing that we've forgotten about?
No.
I swear to
There's
God, if
not.
there's another one, and you guys
No.
wake Elias up again to identify.
No.
Hey, Elias!
No, Baram's just
Help us
didn't.
out again.
Baram did not hear any of that. Is all.
No.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he's
And
just-
Harrow's still in owl form.
So, the end.
Yep.
Dude, it's great that I have an unlimited supply of owl feathers for identifying.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Identify
do.
everything.
All right. Anything else on tonight's watch?
I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. So, all of you go ahead and you can officially apply a long rest on your character sheet
Woo.
since
Thank the
everything went
stars.
smoothly.
I have all of my spells, features, and whatnot. Oh, Elias does not have the item, so whoever wants to put that in their inventory. It's probably... Yeah, it's probably Anzi, because Harrow was an owl when I did that, so...
Sure.
All right.
Is it
Anzi.
like an actual item that I can add or
I
is it custom?
I don't have text for it because
Yeah, no worries.
I'm. You know what? I'm not going to be mean to myself, even for a joke. I'm doing a good job. But I don't have text for it. I don't. But I can whip something up in between sessions just so that's codified at some
Yeah,
point.
I'm also happy
exactly
to
what
just
it
do a
does.
place. Yeah, because if we already kind of know what it is, I imagine there's
Yeah.
not much else to it, so it's just like, we should be fine. Just has to
Yeah.
communicate with non-humanoid and has to like recharge over 24 hours. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, if you take it off, it needs 24 hours between. Yeah. So yeah, if you just leave it on one creature, it's fine. All right. It's morning. You're alive. No harm came to you in the strip mine. Well, not this part of it. And you all now are right outside this burrowing beetle tunnel. Davuk is ready to go once everyone else is, and kind of lead the way and make sure that he's keeping an eye on the terrain and any shifting that might happen. But
Mage armor, comprehend languages.
gotcha. All right. Anything else before we head in and continue the next day of adventure? Okay. Seems like we're all good. Baram is back to just going, and everybody's a human noid again, I'm pretty sure. Except Davuk. And we are ready. So, as said earlier, this tunnel is very wide. Quite a wide entrance where all of you could line up as a group and not really worry about bumping into each other. But I will ask generally what the marching order is going to be here.
Elias would probably be in the middle,
Okay.
because being at the front and or back is not good for the wizard.
I agree.
Anzi will be at the front on Barum.
Gotcha. Davuk will be in the front with you.
Yeah, I guess Callum would be in the back, just slinking along.
I feel like Elias. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Harrow would be in the back as well.
Okay. Wow. I didn't have to move any of you. Nice.
Consistency.
Sick!
We've got our marching order. Let's go.
All right. So, go ahead and activate you in the Great Burrow here in a second. So, as you are descending in, the sounds of the desert expanse behind you grow a little bit quieter as this the sounds of the tunnels themselves begin to become more prominent. Light goes down. It's now reduced to these strong rays of sun that occasionally pop out of tunnels and in small cracks in the ceiling, but you are entering a space that is more or less full cover.
Is it dark?
It's dim. You can see, but it's dim.
Okay. Dancing lights. Sorry.
Cool. You're good. Might as well. Cantrip, just... So, Davuk is leading the way, and I will pull all of you over to the Great Burrow image.
Cool.
And let's reveal all them tokens. And let's, Anzi has a condition, whatever that is. Let's get rid of that.
It's
Pull up.
less.
Paralyzed.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that's not blessed.
Not
Oh, yeah,
blessed.
I remember that was the thing. Yeah, very much not
Yeah.
blessed.
Also, Barum has a token now.
Look at my boy.
Look at his little face. Just amongst all these high detail images, you just got
We
his
love
Muppet
you.
lip.
He's an anteater. That's what he looks like.
He's
He's
a camel
special
dog.
boy. Camel dog deer thing.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
It's fine.
Yeah. He's bellying.
So yeah, there you go. And he is coded blue for ally or neutral party, as opposed to green for PC. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that a cool thing that I did? That really adds to the experience. Yeah.
Very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and get this going. So as you proceed, there's no immediate signs of danger, but you can all see the seriousness on Davuk's face as he's seems very aware of the potential troubles here, and he sort of instinctually starts moving more slowly, low, and quiet. Kind of creeping around corners and checking. Every once in a while you'll see a new tunnel, and he will check it first, grunt, and signal that it's okay to move on. Some of them are quite narrow, some of them are very wide, but none of them are as wide as the one that you're in right now. This one is very expansive, this very large chamber dug by the brown beetle. After a while, Davuk eventually slows down, just kind of takes a long glance around. Still no Thry-Kreen. And he's just kind of peeking around. And you all have a chance to just kind of take in everything. There is a bit of a sound of dripping water in here. Groundwater seems to be nearby, so thankfully that might not be too much of a concern if you head down the right tunnels. But other than that, you're just in a somewhat smelly, old, dark, and dank place. There are creatures that crawl around, little salamanders splash in tiny, muddy puddles. There are bat-like creatures that hang in corners. Nothing particularly large, just smaller reptilian and insect creatures all throughout, hiding in the shadow. And then you start to see a somewhat more curious sight. You're quite a ways from the original strip mine that you found, but you find more tools. This time, instead of being scattered, they're all just in a pile, kind of by a particular tunnel. They're somewhat old, rusted out. Some of the metal has broken off of the splintered wooden handles for some of them, but it's the same stuff. Calipers and hammers and axes. There's maybe a few dozen of them that are just kind of in a pile. Like they all got put to the side and forgotten there for a long time. Of no use to a lot of the creatures that come through here. And that tunnel in particular, Davuk stops at. And what he would know, and would communicate to all of you, as this 10-foot diameter, very smooth circle of a tunnel. He tenses, because that is the proportions of a purple worm. And he sees very clearly, he can point from one end of the burrow that you're in to the other, where it looks like the great beast cut through, just like a speeding vehicle. More evidence that Davuk is able to point out is a small line at the bottom of the trail, just sort of almost like somebody left rocks to keep track of where they were going. That's what it looks like to all of you at first, but Davuk is able to explain what this is. This is actually excrement. The purple worms eat the rock in front of them so fast that whatever rock was already in their body from their last trip immediately shoots out to make room. As awful as that is. It doesn't smell at all, unless they've recently eaten an actual creature for sustenance. But the rock, they have a system that can just process through the rock without harming them, and they just leave it as detritus along the trail. It looks like the same sort of material all along the walls, but it's tiny, almost little like pebbles that it's been turned into in the purple worm's acidic digestive system. And there's just a line of them. And Davuk is able to look at that and articulate that the purple worm came through here, and as it was, in the same instant it was eating through, just left that trail. So he tenses and gets very cautious, racks his crossbow, of course. And he lets all of you know, as he gets his queen out and has his swarm kind of scanning the area, that purple worms tend not to come back through the same tunnel. But if there's food in the area, they are pretty perceptive, and they'll gladly make their way back. And we might be the first food that's been in this particular passage for a while. So he's moving very quietly. So, as this continues on, as he continues going forward, searching for any signs of the Thrycreen, we'll hold off for a moment on asking for a stealth check, but is there anything anybody is doing to keep an eye out, to help move more quietly, etc.?
Harrow is going to dust up hands and cast Pass Without Trace on the whole party.
Hell yeah. Very solid move. Alright, so that's a plus 10 additional on top of everybody's stealth checks, yeah?
Correct.
Well, that usually does it. That's a pretty damn good spell. I remember my Monster Hunter guy had that years ago. Really useful. Anybody else?
No, nothing that that crazy to help the rest of the party. It's just something Callum would be extra cautious and quiet about.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, Elias is just going to try to be as quiet as possible. So
Yeah. I don't think there's anything I can really do to help Ad.
Alright. So, as everybody is moving ahead, let's go ahead and just collectively make a stealth check then. You'll all have that plus 10, so... Right, so Elias, that'll actually be a 21
yeah,
instead of an
33.
11. 33!
31.
Good rolls.
Damn.
Yeah.
And also a 31. I know Davuk is proficient. So he would have, and then, all right, so he got a 26. And then, what's Barum looking at?
Oh shit.
Does he have proficiency, or would it just be his dex?
It would just be Dex. Second. Bap, 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 bap. Oh, bar. 16. But
16.
pretty high.
Yeah. And we are going to average them, because group stealth checks, when you don't do that, are dookie. So, we've got... Let me just do this on my phone calculator. That'll be the handiest gadget here. A 21, a 33, a 31, another 31, a 16, and then the 26 from Davuk. Divide by 6. Alright, yeah, the average stealth score of the party was 26. So, you're very well hidden at this moment, especially on the auditory front. You are not upsetting the ground at all, not letting a single rock crumble from the ceiling to draw any attention towards you. Which means this is going to go a little bit better. So, as you're all making your way forward, slowly, cautiously, taking the next several minutes to peer around, eventually Davuk does whisper,
There. Thrycreen tunnels.
and he points, and you can see that they're much smaller, and have sort of jagged edges and are made through looser rock, and some of them are very high up, creating these sort of winding, spirally paths. And at this moment, you don't see any Thrycreen, but suddenly, you hear some. It's this clicking noise. It's a very powerful mandible bite that you can hear that almost sounds like snapping wood. And you hear a few of them making it off in the distance. And then you all feel underneath. Davuk just kind of pauses. And then you feel it again. And Elias, now we talked about this with comprehend language. There's going to be some gaps, because there is an entire branch of the Thrycreen language that is not spoken at all. It is entirely signed with their antenna. But you are able to faintly hear with comprehend language. Defend the tunnels. Move back. Defend. Left side. Just these very short commands being given out. And you all feel another... and another...
They are
And-
getting ready to attack us. We need to make our presence known.
Anyone want to do anything, or Elias will?
Once or all of us at the same time?
We need to let them know that we are not here to hurt them, because they are about to attack us. They are talking about defense.
And we're sure it's us.
We're the only ones here.
Are we certain of that?
And you all feel another vibration in the toes.
Well, now you have me second-guessing myself. I do not know if we're the only ones here.
I don't have anything to detect shit, so...
That's okay. Davuk is just going to ready his crossbow and get back into the shadows. Is anybody else doing something in the next couple of seconds here?
I mean,
Yes.
go ahead.
You first. I'll go after.
I feel like Anzi would kind of agree that it's probably good to let our presence known, even if there is maybe something else. Because if they're already being attacked by something and we just kind of still stay kind of stealthing in, can't blame them if they think that we're also going to attack. So she will still be at the front. She will dismount, and make sure her weapons, she'll keep them stowed on Barim instead of having them on her. And she'd be ready to approach, just kind of like hands out, like, you know, we're not trying shit. But she's
Okay.
happy to be the kind of brunt impact of that, whatever we're getting ourselves into.
All right. So, Elias, then you hear 2 formation. Backwards. Mind the top. Tap. And just little commands. Some stuff you don't even quite comprehend what the words mean. But eventually there is just sort of this chatter amongst all of them. As to the rest of you, it's just clicking and buzzing, just these noises. But Elias, you hear, surface dweller. They must leave. Warn them. And
Alright, we're not the only ones here.
and one steps forward to you, Anzi, and just has... It's this creature, now that you see it a little closer, they're on the shorter side, maybe just a little bit taller than Harrow, if that. But they've got 4 arms and 2 legs. The top 2 are sort of more humanoid, and the bottom 2 are little pincers. And they're able to hold all sorts of weapons. They can have spears crossed between 2, throwing weapons in extras. Some of them have little potions and survivalist supplies and all sorts of things. And there's a cluster of about 15 of them right now. And the one steps forward and raises a hand, and there is a frantic wiggling of antennae and just a series of bites and clicks and squeak noises that don't mean a thing to you. But to Elias, they mean surface dweller, worm, leave. And before Anzi can be relayed that or anything, it erupts from the ground, it shakes before all of you, and when we get back from break, the purple worm doesn't know that any of you are there.
Alright,
Okay.
dude. Sick.
Alrighty.
You love to see it. You love to hear it, dude. Alrighty. Well, with that, we'll be back in just a little bit.
Everyone ready?
Woo!
Let's do this.
Thumbs.
You better be, because we're here. Welcome back,
Ah!
everybody. Woo!
So,
Purple.
Worm time.
the squad did a bunch of role play and then walked into a tunnel for a few minutes. In a way, that's all that's happened so far. Where we are right now is that the party, with the help of Davuk, who's totally here right now, were able to suss out the Thrycreen tunnels, and they actually started to hear a few, but these few were preparing to encounter a purple worm. They seemed to be ready. They were talking about defensive positions. They were listening very closely. The party felt rumblings underneath them, and Joe rose his hand.
What about mystery beverage? We never went over that.
You're so right. You know what? Damn good point. So
let me show mystery beverage.
Before the party and these dry green face
Shit,
off. Nice. All right.
man.
There's some in there.
My guess is that it was a like lime flavored LaCroix.
Fit soda.
Straight sparkling water.
Water
close.
in which you blew your own bubbles into.
Damn.
I'm impressed.
All of you are wrong. The closest was, I guess, Fit Soda, but it is called Zevia.
Oh, you mentioned
Dude.
Zevia the other day.
Zevia!
Yeah.
Oh, I should have
Cream soda
Zima.
flavor.
Oh.
Wow.
See, whenever I do mystery beverage, I'm just gonna have the most, like, only available in Australia shit. I'm tired of this American bullshit. I'm at disadvantage. It's unfair for this very high stakes game.
Yeah, you're losing real money on this every
Yeah.
night. So, mystery beverage went great. Joe, you're on mystery beverage next week. And then who would be on summary next week? Would that be Evan or Gemma?
It's me on Summer next
Cool.
week.
All
Probably
right,
the best.
sweet.
Might be a little hard for Evan to do.
Yeah, it's kind of why I wanted to sort
So
that
either
out.
way, it would have been me. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, hope you're ready to talk about Sandcat in a week. But for now, let's press on. So, squad, fam.
Yeah.
My
Fam
dude.
squad.
Oh my god. I hit the wrong button and I just opened up a line of code. Hold on, let me close that. That was weird. I didn't even know that was a thing you could
Oh
fucking...
yeah, did you accidentally hit F12?
I must have. All
Yeah,
right.
The console.
Yeah, I think so.
Mark,
It
Mark was
definitely-
hacking into the mainframe.
I was just gonna say, it definitely looked like to my amateur eye that I had hacked into the mainframe. So, all of you see the Thrycreen at the other end of this stretch coming out of their own little tunnels. They have a little militia. We are going to represent them with 3 tokens right now, each of which is like a group of 4 or 5 of them. But they will be moving around a little bit as needed. This is the arrangement you told me you were all moving in, and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight you guys and bring you down. Whoops. Oh, God. It ate them.
Wrong.
What the
Oh.
Okay. Hold
there
no.
goes the campaign.
No, hold up. Okay, no, we got it. That was weird. Okay, so I'm not gonna move you all the way down then. And now they're out of line? What the fuck is going on? Alright, fine. This is the clump. This is... Whatever. That's what it looks like. Y'all are there, and the Thrycreen are going to be up here, and we are just going to, as I said, just kind of generally theater of the mind this. This is a very large expanse. We're not going to roll initiative or anything like that. But to set the scene once again, you all see these Thrycreen getting ready, and then you hear Elias, one of them, try to tell Anzi in the Thrycreen language that she needs to get out of here because a worm is coming, and within that instant, it just erupts from the ground. So, all of you, the floor just shakes, and you all are knocked prone on the initial impact and are able to get yourselves up, there is a deafeningly loud sound as it climbs and climbs and climbs up. It keeps getting longer and longer the more of it that has emerged. And eventually, a good 80, 90 feet of the worm is out, its head coiling and looking around. And it lets out not a scream, but an inhale sound that causes a great gust of wind. And it sounds like 100 people suffocating all at once. The Thrycreen all get into defensive positions, and the one that was looking at you, Anzi, just kind of side glances and does that. As in, get the fuck out of here. But the 5 of you all have shit to do here. So worm or not, let's go ahead and jump into it. And Elias, I know you had a plan right away, but let me go ahead and share some art real quick. Because Elias, you can hear, they're not referring to this creature as a worm or the worm anymore. When it emerges, they start using a specific name. They start referring to this worm in particular as Magor. And I am going to share the art of Magor with all of you.
Jesus
Much less
Christ.
friendship.
Oh my god.
So,
What the
there's that
fuck?
thing. I will reveal
Dude,
the
this
token
worm has
now.
razor blades on its side.
So,
It's got eyes.
the token, just so you know, the token is only set to 2x2 because that's how wide it is and that's the size of the tunnels it leaves. But for all intents and purposes, it could be, it's at least 100 feet long.
Yeah.
At this rate, it's probably more. But the part of it that is exposed vertically is that sort of 10 by 10 size. All right. So, here we go. Elias, you had an immediate plan. You want to give it a go?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, the thing pops out of the ground, Elias is going to immediately, his eyes open very wide, and he's just going to say,
Shit!
and he's going to cast Banishment on the purple worm.
All right.
Charisma saving throw, 16.
Magor has a -3 to charisma. So, this is one of those instances where I need to roll a 19 or a 20. Let's see what happens. That was a 13. Down to 10. So, Magor, that you hear this inhale sound, and all of a sudden, just boop, and that deafening sound is just gone. In the place where Magor was, there's just like a falling waterfall of rock for a few seconds that fill that void.
I imagine that when Elias casts Banishment, he points his hand out, and it looks like the creature gets unraveled from time itself. It just starts spinning into itself, and then just disappears with like a pop.
Mm-hmm. Just...
Yeah.
And you all very briefly are able to see the entire length of Magor as that is cast, as the head curls, and it just keeps funneling and funneling at the speed of a highway, just going up. You could all estimate that Magor is around 400 feet long. And it all just pops and is gone. Now, remind me with Banishment, because Magor is native to this plane, spoilers, it's only going to be gone for a minute, right?
Yeah, the banished to a harmless demiplane. It is incapacitated, remains there until the spell ends, which it reappears in the space it left or the nearest unoccupied space. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what that means then is we have a minute. Currently, Anzi is the only one visible to everyone else because, Harrow, you would still have Pass Without Trace going right now. So I'll leave it up to you guys what you want to do about that.
Yeah, Elias is gonna go.
We have exactly 1 minute. We need to run. Now.
Alright. And the Thrycreen, they sort of... Are you yelling that audibly so that they could probably hear in the area? Okay, cool. So the Thrycreen are going to kind of reposition, move around a little bit. And one of them, who appears a little bit taller and has a spear with 2 points on it that is even bigger than he is, he starts moving forward, and then, like a pole vaulter, his mantis-like legs just bend, and he just leaps like a standing jump about 50 feet towards all of you. And his other friends just all land behind him, and they all crouch. And he points the spear specifically at Anzi, who he can more clearly see, but looks at the whole group, just sort of vaguely in the area where he heard the voice. And he starts chattering. And Elias, you being the only one that can interpret it, you hear, "Do you bring trouble?"
Elias is just like, he's pulling on people's shoulders.
He goes, "No, we do not have time for this."
"Do you bring trouble?"
No.
"Good. Only safe place is the hive. Follow." And he'll
We
just...
have about 45 seconds.
And they will just start just leaping real fast. And that's it. They're moving.
Elias is going to look to Harrow and say,
Can you turn into something that is very fast?
Sure. And he just turns into the massive bird creature and then just grabs, or the dino bird that he turned into in the first session, and lays out his paws, or his claws, for people to jump into.
Callum's used to it by now. He's like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Nice. Barum, in the meantime, is just like... like he's ready.
Wait, so Anzi's on the back of Barum, right?
Yeah, I mean, how fast is your bird?
Yeah.
I think I can move up to 120. Let me check.
What exactly are you turning into?
Hold on one sec.
Because I might,
Yeah,
I
'cause
might
I mean-
polymorph Barum into that same creature.
Okay, are we sure that it would be able to fit through these tunnels, though? Is it big enough for it?
You're
It's a
still
big
in
bird,
the...
isn't it?
You're still in the beetle burrow, so there should be enough room,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But once you get to smaller side tunnels, that might be a concern.
Ankylosaurus. It's a big ass dino bird.
Gotcha.
No, wait, that's not the one.
I was gonna say the Ankylosaurus isn't it the one that's got like an armored shell and
Yeah.
the club
no,
tail?
I'm thinking. Yeah, the Quetzalcoatlus. Hold on. Words are hard.
Especially when you're talking about dinosaurs, those names are
Yeah.
unbearably hard to pronounce.
It's like Wild Latin. That one. Big old dino bird.
Oh yeah, the Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah, totally.
This thing.
Flawless victory.
Yes.
This thing, right? Hold on.
So are we all thinking of writing, or are we splitting up? Like how much?
I mean,
How much can this thing carry? You think?
Its strength is 15. It's a fly speed of 80.
Gotcha. Okay. So I mean, last time you carried somebody in each claw.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
This thing is so cool.
Yeah.
So goofy.
if it's
so goofy
if it's
looking.
a person each claw, then that takes care of 3 people.
And then
And
somebody
Barum
can
as
hop
well.
on.
Yeah.
Somebody can hop on Barum with you.
Yeah.
That might be the way to do this.
Huzzah.
Okay.
Easy.
So who's hopping where? Davuk is not particularly fast. He has a fly speed of 10. So
I'll grab
that.
Davuk.
Worm's closing in, he's just floating.
How fast is Barum?
50. Yes.
Okay, Elias will stay
Okay,
on
fine.
Barum with Anzi.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I have one more 4th level spell slot, so I can banish this thing a second time. Should we need to?
All right.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. So, squad Autobots roll out. So you very quickly just transform, jump into dragon claws and shit. Elias, you hop on Barum, and Barum just he's
Possibly.
just going.
Actually, can I do that instead? Can I polymorph myself into like a young dragon and just carry him that way?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah,
Cool.
just your spell slot, whatever. So
Wow.
Can you do that?
Can you
It's-
polymorph into a dragon?
I think as long as it's CR appropriate, right?
I think it has to be a beast? I think true polymorph is the other one that lets you do that.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll just keep with what I said, and we'll go
Okay.
from there.
Gotcha,
I'll
gotcha.
look up the dragon another time.
All right. Autobots rolling out. So, you start moving. You got maybe like 15 seconds left. Elias, you're clinging on for life, trying to see behind you. And you eventually, you've made some good distance. You're trying to keep up with the Thri-Kreen. You can see that the spear wielder has kind of stopped a few times to look and just keeps waving on. And eventually, though, you get to what he was calling the Hive. And we have a bit of an issue now. The tunnels are a lot smaller. Attached to the big brown beetle burrow are these just little, like 2-foot wide things. The mantis people, the Thri-Kreen, all are able to just jump up to them and just like army crawl through with their 6 limbs. But they're just kind of like little peepholes, and they're high off the ground. So the spear wielder hops up, and he just kind of looks, and you need a way up. And again, all the rest of you but Elias are just hearing clicks.
Elias is relaying everything the thing says. Elias will definitely say it back to the party.
Yeah. I mean, how
Can-
high off the ground is it?
Yeah.
The lowest ones are about 30 feet.
Jesus.
So,
Fly taxi?
as
Chuck people in?
you're all thinking of a
That's
solution,
what I was thinking.
here's Magor again. You hear the from down at the other end of the tunnel, and it just now just belly on the floor of the tunnel slinks through, and its 2 yellow eyes spot you all getting ready to do your plan. It inhales again. A bunch of loose debris around it just immediately sucks in, and it's flying towards. So, plan.
Harrow's gonna try to drop both Callum and then Davuk into the hole.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And
Callum,
then he's going to fly directly at the worm.
Nice. Okay. Interesting. So, first off, Callum and Davuk both need to make acrobatics checks to fit through the tunnel.
dude, yeah, let's do it. Acrobatics,
Yeah.
25, dude.
I like that.
I'm
Alright.
live. I'm Dexy. Dexy, and I know it, man. Love
Davuk
references to
got-
10-year-old songs.
Davuk got a
Classic.
15, so Callum with your 25, you're just like, and you're just like, you're basically like horizontal wall climbing, just pushing yourself through this thing, and you make it easy. And you get on the other side, and for just a brief moment, you kind of take in the rest of this space in front of you. It suddenly opens up, and there's all these tunnels in the distance, and a big open domed ceiling, and weird structures and strange supplies, and glowing things hanging on the walls, and hundreds of Thrycreen that are moving all about rapidly. But you're snapped out of that daze because Davuk with his 16 is just, or 15 rather, is just a little bit stuck. And he just reaches down towards you. While that's happening, though, I know, Harrow, you're flying right before the thing, and then Elias and Anzi, you're also still down on the floor.
I mean, is Harrow able to sweep us out and chuck us also in the holes?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
So you can swoop down and grab y'all.
So,
But
just
if
for
he's-
clarification, the holes are in the ceiling?
They're not in the ceiling, but they are like
Just
30 feet
30
above.
feet up.
Yeah.
Inside of the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the tunnel, like, things that we're getting through, they're only, like, 2 feet, so there's no way Barham can go in, which is fine. I'll just have to dismiss him, but it's sad.
Can we see up the tunnel, and is there like a space where it's like larger? If we look straight up?
They're all pretty narrow. They're all like designed in such a way that people other than Thrycreen aren't really meant to be able to get to them.
But is there like an opening that we can see like further up the tunnel? Or is it just the tunnel is all we can see?
Just the tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sealed spot right here.
I mean, I could vortex warp people up. Just a little teleport.
I mean,
Well, I
if you
feel
wanna
like we can
save
use
slots,
the-
though.
Yeah, we can use like I feel like the best thing to do is to have Harrow continue to like pretty much just real quick like bring people up and then have you banish the worm again.
Okay, yeah.
Not to tell people what to do, but I think that's the ideal
No, I
strategy.
do want to
here.
banish the worm again. That is definitely
mean-
on my list of things.
Yeah, but the other Thrycreen are fine. It's just 3 of us that are yet to go into the holes,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's one more swoop from Harrow, and then we should be safe. So, I mean,
So, yeah,
I'll still
that's what I'm
bash it
thinking,
if
at
you
least.
want to, but
Let's make a call.
Harrow's gonna just go to swoop down and grab the rest of them and put them in the hole.
Okay, and then Anzi, you said you can just like unsummon Barham temporarily.
yeah, as an action, I am able to dismiss my steed, causing it to disappear. But I can cast it again to regain him. So yeah, she'll just kind of, I guess, as Harrow's coming down, get off. Sorry, old friend. Just he can go back to, I guess, just running in just fields
Yeah.
of sand.
He
until
just
she resummons.
appears back in the dunes.
Yeah,
And he
that's
just
fine.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's not the first time, so
yeah, no, he gets it. He saw the holes
He's a
too.
bro.
And was probably
He's a
like,
bro.
So you manage to get them both through. Barham is fine. They're up to the holes. I'll need acrobatics checks from the two of you then as well.
Oof. Okay.
can also, I guess, because Anzi does have a +7,
Oh,
so she
there
can
we go.
help out Elias if he needs, but he does not need. If anything, she fucking needs. Jesus.
Wow, you spoke
I
way
can-
too soon.
I did. I really need to hold my tongue.
I'll use Chronal Shift. Reroll.
Hey, all right.
All right, Anzi, let's get it again.
Well, there we go. That's better.
Yo,
That's a lot better. All right, you both make it through. So Harrow, this leaves you on the outside with the worm.
How
And
close is it?
it is definitely closing in. Like, by the time you do whatever you're doing to get into the tunnel, it's probably going to be in range to make an attempt.
Cool. And is there any way I could smash any of the rocks around it to slow it down?
You could attempt. The thing is, it is inhaling as it's moving. So if it was like, if it was loose rock, it would just flow right in. You'd have to like cause a collapse to really stop the thing.
So, is there a theory that by getting through there, we're going to be safe from this worm? Because if it's inhaling rocks, it's just going to burst through that damn wall and then take...
That is how the Thrycreen made it sound. They told Elias the only safe place is the hive.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, he'll fly up to the hole and just unwild shape into his small little 2'3" whatever form and just try to slide through the hole.
All right. And you can make this acrobatics check with advantage.
Cool.
Because you're the right size.
I'm going to re-roll that one with luck because I'm a halfling.
Cool.
And I'm rolling dog shit today. Huzzah!
Damn.
17.
So, okay, still, so with advantage, 17, a little bit on the slower side still to get through. That graceful transition from wild shape to halfling was a little rough. I
fear. He's just saying, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, not like this, not like this, not like this.
And in that
ugly son of a bitch.
So, as everybody's scrambling through in that last second, Harrow, you are that close to safety. I'm just going to go ahead and roll a single attack as it swoops by to see if it manages. If it does, things get rough. Let's see here. Nat 1, baby.
-2.
Hey! So, the purple worm just... and it just completely misses as it lunges up. You feel just like the clothes, like on the leg of your pants, just like cinch to the skin with all of the force and suction that came out of the mouth, but it does not make any contact. You hear the razors on its side just scrape like nails against the rocks, but it moves past you, and you just kind of fuck, and just scramble the rest of the way in.
Very tiny man.
And as you're in, you all now can see some of the Thrycreen. Some of them are sitting, and they have powders and poultices, very druid-like in a way that they are moving around and spreading. And though I'll say to Elias and to Harrow, you don't know the exact magic that happened, but you can tell that they're casting some sort of ward on the area. And they do, and eventually you hear the very loud rumble returning, that scraping sound shaking the ground below you, and you actually see through the 100 little holes, like a grate, you can see the massive, toothy face of the worm just staring through at all of the Thrycreen. And it lets out one last inhaling roar, and it slithers away, deciding to leave all of you for another day.
Oh.
So, you all made it, and no one got hit.
Fucking sick, dude.
Jesus Christ. So,
Dude,
you
magic's
all
wild.
are in there. Anzi, would you wait to resummon Barum, or are you just going to be like, yeah? Because there's definitely room.
10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes, so I guess until we're in like calmer space, she's just gonna be friendless.
Well, not now then. It's not going to be calm. As soon as you get in, the one with the long spear that was speaking to Elias comes forward. A few others hop forward, and as like before you're able to catch your breath at all, the whole party is surrounded by 40 or so of the Thrycreen, all pointing weapons forward. And the spear wielder The spear wielder squats down, knees don't touch the ground. It's just like this held, deep sitting squat as he just kind of like crab walks forward to all of you. Antennae are wiggling, and even those of you that don't have Elias's ability, you're able to see that with the antenna wiggles, messages are sent to some of the other Thri-kreen. They shift around a little bit. They'll chatter to one another. It's a whole entire component of the language. But he leans down and he... What is your business?
Might be a good idea to show them the broken stones.
Yeah, who had the agate pieces? I think Elias had one, yeah?
Yeah,
Elias
and
pulled
then
out one.
and Callum will pull out his other.
Cool. So they kind of look, and they sort of... And just... kind of rudely, one of them just with one of the pincer lower arms just kind of... And they just take both of them. They're looking at them, and they just pass them in a circle, just like show and tell. And they're all just kind of peering up at it. And you can see their mantis eyes have that sort of kaleidoscope look to them, where there's a pupil that you can actually see in the center, but a lot of it is just sort of orange, yellowish collage, this like room of mirrors in each of their eyes as they look at it. And you can see in the crystals as well a lot of refraction coming off as they sort of angle it towards little pockets of light. And they're kind of studying them as they're passing that around.
Elias is going to, his hands are up. He's going to say,
I am able to understand you. Can you understand me?
Gaps. How do you do this?
Magic.
And you see the antennas wiggle. I insult you. Did you hear?
Yes.
Do you want to roll deception?
wait, did he not hear it?
It was an antenna wiggle. You wouldn't have got anything.
Oh, I thought he was talking about, he didn't, never mind. He didn't, whatever.
Okay, he didn't say the thing. Cool.
Well, I was thinking back to when they were talking underground and like stuff like that, but now that I think about it, they didn't really say anything offensive. So I guess
Right, yeah.
he'll say,
No.
Good. And he backs up, and for the next minute, it's just going to be silent in here as the entire cluster of Thri-kreen have an antenna-only conversation. And you're all just kind of there for a sec.
While that's happening, Auntie's just kind of like, I imagine she's still very much trying to stay in front of everyone else. We'll just kind of lean back to where Elias is. Do we need the amulet? You seem... Sorry, I need to catch you mid-bite there, mate.
you got me mid-cookie, dude.
Soz. You seem to be able to understand them, but I feel it should help, right? Tried.
Yes, I believe that we should probably bring up the amulet. Right now they are having an intense conversation that I cannot hear. So we should wait.
Okay.
Do you see how their antennas are moving?
I just assumed that was part of their nature. I didn't realize it had communication or...
No, they are
aspects.
communicating. He asked me if I heard his insult when he moved his antennas. So I assume that this is how they communicate.
I see.
Who has the amulet?
Yeah, Auntie would. So she would have just been... She would have had it, I guess, been bringing it out as she's talking to Elias. Do they understand us?
They do understand us. I'd be more than happy to translate the entire conversation that we have, but I think that the amulet would be our best bet for everyone to have a say in what's going on.
I mean, I feel it might help with the antennae thing as well.
We will just have to wait till they're done.
And eventually you hear these just 3 sharp clicks, this sort of, and one of them turns and kind of does a similar squat and is looking at the amulet you're holding. And rather than like turning the head itself, they're just sort of like adjusting like this to look at it more closely with one eye, and then just sort of moving like that as they're sort of just taking it in. And they antenna wiggle to a few others.
Should help be able to communicate between each other.
It should allow you to talk openly with us so everyone can understand you.
Eventually the spear wielder comes back, squats. My title is Spear One. Tell me your business here.
Would you consider taking the amulet first?
We will save that for the sage. Should you be worthy of meeting her.
Well, Spear One. My title is Elias.
Hmm.
We are looking for an individual known as No One.
And a few clicks, and the rest of the crowd gets kind of excited. And you hear this distinct noise between all of them, this sort of like, as they're all sort of like looking to one another. Spear One turns back. Who sent you?
Great Beetle Alifaz.
Do you have any more gems?
Unfortunately, we do not. We were attacked by...
What the hell were the scorpion people called?
Tlinkali.
What? Say that one more time.
Tlinkali.
Thin?
Tlin.
TH?
Tlin.
Tlinkali. Gotcha.
Tlinkali.
We were attacked by, Trinkali. Outside.
Have you made enemy of them?
Problem. Yes? They did mention you are our enemies now.
They are enemy of us.
Well,
No
we have
conflict?
a common foe.
Good. You can meet No One. But I am curious what this business is that ended you all the way up here. And you can hear just little gaps like that in the way that sentences are structured. Just taking you an extra second to kind of piece together exactly what he's saying at any given time.
We were tasked by Alifaz to find No One. There is natural reasons to why we are here. Alifaz is not entirely well. That is the extent. We were told to find No One and that they would be able to help us.
Lucky. No one cares greatly for Alifaz.
This is good.
She will want to hear. Have good story. These are scarce times. if you're not worth the time, you can be eaten. And Spear One just sort of backs up, and a couple of the other Thri-kreen he points to, antenna wiggles, and they kind of come up to you and just sort of like, just sort of motion to follow.
No, it's just, yeah.
All right.
Follows.
And I will pop us all over to the Thri-kreen colony. So, you all now are being led through this place. You see lots of little tunnels, little passageways. You see enclosures where it seems like some of them live. Very narrow, almost like one-person tents, just big enough to slip into, like just a person-sized hole that they go to rest. You do see some food that they are eating. It's mostly plants and such, little bits of cactus and succulent and grass, pretty much uncooked, that some of them are just eating raw. You see some of them off in the distance of this rather large colony, spacious and well lit. They're like walking in straight lines, almost like ants, with tools in their hands, kind of peering around in the rock, checking for imperfections, boarding up tunnels again. It's all sort of a quaint sight. As you're walking, Spear One says a little bit. In old times, Tlinkali and us had agreement. We both could feed on one another, but decided not to. Then, the surface dwellers came. Soft tides showed up with mining tools, stripped the land bare. All of our food left. No one knows who started it, but we got hungry. We've not recovered yet. We will be at war until the land is cured. Please, forgive judgments that my colony may have. You are one of the soft hides. We don't do business with the four limbs. Not often. But a great beetle, we do. And as he says that, you round the corner, and you see just waiting there, it almost looked like a massive structure of stone, but then you see it move a little bit, and you realize that this entire room that you all glanced at to your left is not a room. It is a great brown beetle. It slowly sits up. Sand just pours from inside the carapace as it gets up. Now, compared to Alifaz, it's no city beetle. It could probably hold a squad or two of these Thri-kreen if they were riding atop it into battle or for transport or something. But it lives amongst them. You see a few kind of using tools to brush on its sides. You see one that is like almost like a mechanic, kind of gripped on underneath and is like cleaning the mouth out of stuff. And you see them bringing the same food that they eat. It looks like they've brought half of it, half of their entire colony's rations to this beetle to feed it. Clearly, this creature matters to them a lot. So, you and them at least have that. And finally, you do get to a small hut. And Spear One stops. This is no one. She prefers to rest, think, maintain knowledge.
but if the word you bring from Ali Faz is worth keeping, she will make the time.
And he hands back from the two that were helping lead you the two pieces of agate.
We see things in these that your eyes cannot. Present them to her. She may know something.
And Spear One and the others back up. They chatter to each other a little bit. And you're all now, all five of you, standing outside of a low-to-the-ground tent that has a sort of yellowish glow coming out of it. You'd all have to crawl in order to fit into it. Except Harrow. Your head would be scraping the top, but you could technically walk in there if you don't want to kneel. So,
Harrow will walk forward and kind of put his palm out to this great beetle, like bowing the head, doing a kneel. And we'll kind of sit and kind of commune with this beetle, or like do the notions that it usually does, but kind of be in the background doing that. Just kind of getting a sense of this beetle.
Go ahead and roll either nature or religion. And while Harrow's doing that, is there any other last-minute business, people, or just curiosities that the party wants to kind of just poke around, check out the village? They're not being hostile towards you at all right now, but they're sort of... They've seemed to have just kind of moved on from your presence and are maintaining the boundaries of the colony. But if there's anything people want to check out or whatever before you head into the tent as a group, now would be the time.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good,
I mean,
the general
Callum
vibe
would,
check was kind of covered.
yeah, I mean, Callum would just kind of be looking around, seeing, not that he would take anything, but, you know, it's like, what do they value? Like, what are the things they really care about? What are the things they really like? And if he can kind of tell that from a cursory glance of just looking over, he's not going to try and, like, go into somebody's house or anything, but...
Yeah, and
tent,
like I said,
guess.
the houses are like that. They're just a hole. They're just... There's your sleeping hole, and then there's the public space. That's really about it. But you do kind of see a working line of them, this very straight line, as they sort of march. They have little buckets of just sort of fine red gemstones of some kind, very smooth rock that they're putting into the wall, like making little divots for it and putting it in. And you see that it's almost like a mural or a tapestry made out of all sorts of gem and mineral rock, kind of fitted into the wall and smoothed out so it looks like part of it. It's from like a humanoid artistic perspective. It's kind of a mess. The color scheme is really weird. But there seems to be meaning of some sort. They're definitely treating these with a lot of attention and effort. And Harrow with a 15 on religion. You basically are able to just absorb that this beetle is probably a fiery spirit under normal times, like a lot of the brown beetles are. They're just kind of willing to butt heads with whatever ends up in their way. But you can feel a weariness and sort of a somber energy coming off of it. And you sort of feel within your head, no words are spoken aloud, but almost telepathically, Harrow, you feel...
Ali Faz. How is he?
Ill, unfortunately.
Hmm.
A curse was once bestowed upon it that has give Alifaz a grandeur of life unfitting for anyone, but has given a great deal of people a home. The condition is being worsened, and we have been sent to remove said curse.
Katana Pet's empire.
The very same.
Your beetle was one of the last.
Yes.
Hmm.
And we are not the only ones that know of such things. There are others that would benefit from the beetle being sold for scraps. Alifaz being used as fodder, as supplies, and being removed of any humanity. Alifaz deserves for all their years, decades of service to caring for the very people that they house.
You, young druid, have a lot on your side. And the brown beetle, much like Alifaz did in session 1, just shifts a mandible forward and lays it near you, waiting for communion.
Very well.
So, much less grand and exquisite and info-dumpy of a time than you had with Alifaz, but you do rest your hand on this beetle. And you just feel a connectedness, almost like the lines between stars in a constellation. And you feel it spreading from this beetle back to Alifaz, and from Alifaz to others, and throughout the desert. And the beetle just says to you, connection. Where one is harmed, the others know, if not with their mind, with their soul. Saving one saves us all. I feel old Alifaz's weariness. 3 times my age he is. Trust the oasis. Trust it. And the brown beetle takes the mantle back. My people call me Tog. Remember the name.
I will. Thank you for this, for your service, Tog. We will try our best to protect Alifaz and all that are connected. But now, upon meeting you, we need to know what to do next.
No one.
And the beetle just sort of leans back. And you see the other Thrycreen have, some of them had slowed down their work around Tog. Some of them turn to you and they just sort of... it almost looks like a curtsy. They kind of put their arms out and do like a bow.
And then one of them in particular, the one that was kind of working by the mouth, grabs a bit of loose sand and dirt from the ground and crushes it between two hands and just grabs your palm and places the dirt. And they say something. You don't really know what, but they just make that gesture, whatever it may mean to you, and then they get back to their work.
Looking at the sand in my palm, or Harrow will observe it.
Mm-hmm. Just sand, really. But you felt a sort of purpose and warmness in the gesture itself that you hadn't been shown here yet. There was just something about it that was a little more communal.
Got it. Very well.
All right, anybody else? Joe's good.
I think that was
John's
the information we needed.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you're ready to approach no one then. So, all of you up to the tent. As I said, you do have to kneel down in order to figure out what's going on in here in order to fit. But you do all sort of crawl in one by one. Once inside, though it is very low, there is kind of just enough space. You guys are all definitely going to be like hip to hip during this meeting in a tight circle. But you all get in. Just that very low yellow glow, but other than that, it's quite dim. Hard to see. But the figure, there's just sort of in the shadows, extends out a single hand. It's missing a couple of fingers. It has bindings on certain spots. And in the dark, you can't make out much else. But it just sort of reaches forward, and it waits right by you, Anzi, where you're holding the amulet.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that it's waiting for it, she'll just grab the amulet and kind of let it plunk into her hand.
Alright. Does. Pulls it back. And you hear as it clicks into place, the clasp at the back. The amulet itself just two brief glimmers of a orangish red color. And then it goes back to looking completely normal, unremarkable, tarnished and all. But it definitely worked, as all 5 of you suddenly hear, "You are the 5 that bring news of Alifaz." And there's just a silence as she waits.
That would be correct. Although, admittedly, it is not happy news.
And hands raise. The lighting changes a little bit. You're able to see more clearly now. And all of you have this synaptic moment where your field of vision changes, because you immediately recognize, as it flashes back to the front of your mind, one of the 5 images that Alifaz had shared with you at the very beginning of your journey. The image of an insect-like creature that is battered, worn, old, missing limbs, surrounded by large gemstones, and wearing a skull-like mask with these beady blue eyes atop it. As that image floods to the front of all your minds for just a couple seconds, as your vision returns to the normal world, you all know that even though there were probably 100 little choices that you could have made differently, you are where you need to be right now. You are at least 1 out of 5 in the right direction. And no one, as the lights come up, then let's talk. You tell me the history of the people that let you here and their decisions. And I tell you the history of the curse that afflicts your beetle. The line of Empress Katenapet. And I will share the image now of no one. So, as she prepares to speak with all of you, her arms twitching and moving in erratic ways, nubs where it looks like others used to be. That is where we will go ahead and end tonight's session.
Oh, sick, dude.
So yeah, first image, you did it. You made it to no one. And we'll do that conversation because John needs to leave here in a few minutes anyway, and you guys are going to have a lot of you're going to have decisions to make based on what no one says, and I'd rather Evan be here for that.
Yeah, so. That's very, very, very fair.
Yeah, but we made it. You made it to no one. Part 1 done.
Woo!
You did it. Woo! Alrighty.
Woo! Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hi there, that Josh Guy Live. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, that's awesome that we were able to play D&D before. It's one of my favorite things, so I'm so glad that was they came back. So that's it for today. Be sure to come back on Tuesday for the continuation of the Adventures of Salamander Coast. Like I said yesterday, next session of SC is going to be a little spicy, and I'm excited for that. Next Wednesday for the continuation of the Tales of Everend picnic episode, apparently. And then next Saturday for the continuation of Isles, or next Sunday for the continuation of the Buried Time. Got a lot of stuff going on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.